The Galactic Academy of Sovereigns stood like a mountain of silver and crystal at the heart of the Dominion. Its halls were built for the heirs of empires, not for humans. Gloria Caldwell walked beside her son, Nick, feeling every stare like a blade. The boy kept his head low, his dark hair hiding his eyes. He was only 15 by human years, but here that meant barely sentient to most species. Humans were new to the stars. Respect was rare. Today was the final test to decide whether Nick would be accepted among the pure-born, future rulers of the galaxy, or shamed forever. The instructor, a tall insectoid named Master Vexer, clacked his mandibles with amusement as he saw Gloria. "So," he hissed, voice echoing. "The human returns." Again, Gloria gave no response. She had learned silence hurt them more than words. Nick swallowed. His hands shook that he'd failed the intelligence examinations, that he'd failed the psionic trials, he'd failed the combat simulations. Every scoreboard had flashed the same result: unfit to lead. The pure-born heirs gathered in a semicircle, laughing. "Humans cannot command," sneered a blue-skinned noble. "Send him to manual labor," another added. "Better, send him home," an avian cackled, "where he can fail privately." Nick stared at the ground. Gloria knelt, gently lifting his chin. "You try again," she whispered. "We do not break." Nick nodded, small but determined. Master Vexer clicked a control panel, revealing a huge circular chamber. At its center stood a massive obsidian seat, a throne covered in ancient, glowing veins, pulsing like a living heart. The throne of the Primarches, no one alive had ever awakened it. It was said only the true successor of the first galactic rulers, long extinct, could sit upon it without being annihilated. Deity was the final test. "Tradition demands," Vexer announced smugly, "that even those with no potential must be allowed one attempt." His compound eyes gleamed. "Step forward, human failure." The crowd roared with laughter. Gloria's fists clenched, but she stayed silent. Nick stepped toward the throne. Every pure-born heir watched, expecting comedy. Humans were weak. Humans had no ancient lineage. Humans were just latecomers from a dust world. He placed a trembling hand on the throne's armrest at a heartbeat of silence. Then, boom, the chamber shook. Runes flared alive beneath Nick's palm, blinding red, like molten stars. Gasps filled the hall. "No." Vexer whispered that Nick's whole body tensed, not from pain, but from overwhelming energy flooding his veins. His pupils burned to golden embers. The throne recognized him, claimed him. He fell backward, but the throne moved. Like a predator, like something waking after eons. It pulled him into its seat. The laughter stopped. The runes spread across Nick's skin like living fire. His heartbeat thundered like war drums resonating through the structure of the academy itself. A voice, ancient, metallic, undeniable, echoed inside every skull. "Heir identified. The bloodline returns." The nobles stumbled back in fear. Holographic constellations burst above Nick. Maps of forgotten star realms, empires buried by time. Nick's fear melted into instinct. His voice deepened with something not entirely human. "Who dares mock the legacy of the Primarchs?" Master Vexer fell to his knees, trembling. "Impossible. The Primarchs vanished before the birth of Earth." Gloria stood frozen. Her son, her boy, sat like a god reborn. "But he is human," someone cried. The throne answered for her. "Humanity is the last seed of the pre-March blood, made fragile to hide the power." Now awakened, the hall's banners unfurled automatically, rearranging into a new symbol, a rising star wrapped in wings of flame. Nick looked down at his hands. Power hummed beneath his skin. The peers who mocked him? Now terrified. A particularly loud noble tried to flee, but the throne's energy pinned him to the floor. Nick's new voice cracked like thunder. "Kneel." Every heir collapsed instantly, screaming as unseen pressure forced them down. Gloria finally moved, stepping toward him, eyes wet. "Nick, are you still you?" His golden eyes softened at her presence, like sunlight warming ice. "Mom," he said quietly, "I'm still me." The throne lowered its pulse. The room relaxed, slightly. Gloria turned to the silent crowd. "You judged my son weak," she said. "You laughed at us because we came from Earth, a world you believe beneath you." She pointed at Nick, at the power no one could deny. "You were wrong." Master Vexer dared to raise his gaze. What? What are your orders, my emperor? Nick exhaled slowly. He did not want glory. He wanted acceptance. Friends. A place. But now the galaxy gave him a crown. Rise, he commanded. All of you. The heirs stood, trembling. You will not fear humans, Nick continued. You will stand beside us. The Dominion changes today. His voice, youthful yet commanding, filled every circuit and mind. Humanity rises. Energy surged again, this time calm, protective, the throne locked into its new master. Already, silent transmissions raced across the stars. The Primarch Heir has returned. Earth ascends. Gloria stepped closer, placing a hand on his shoulder. Nick, what happens now? Nick looked ahead, into a future reshaped by fate. Now, he said, we show them what humans can become. The Peerborn heirs looked at Gloria not with ridicule, but respect, fear, too. But that would fade. The throne pulsed once more, a declaration. The age of humanity begins.